Well, hi everyone. Tonight I'd like to talk about the difference between critical analysis and comparative analysis. These are useful tools to analyze a text and analytic techniques also for writing an essay. So I'd like to talk about critical analysis, reading, and writing. So what is critical analysis? Well, it's an analysis that examines the text arguments by looking at the author's line of reasoning. The purpose for writing a critique is to evaluate a writer's work, a book, an essay, a movie, a painting, in order to increase readers' understanding of it. And critical analysis is also subjective writing. It expresses a writer's opinion or evaluation of a text. And writing a critique requires two steps: critical reading and critical writing. Critical reading first. Well, when you're reading someone's text, an essay, maybe an academic treatise, what you want to do is identify the author's thesis and the very purpose that you think why he or she wrote the text. You want to analyze the structure of the passage by identifying all the main ideas, which should be included at the beginning of each paragraph. You need to consult a dictionary or encyclopedia, maybe, to understand material that is unfamiliar to you. And then you might want to make an outline of the work or write a description of it. And then perhaps you would want to write a short summary of the key points. When you do that, when you're writing a summary, also what you want to keep in mind is determining the writer's purpose. Did the writer want to inform with factual material, or persuade with appeal to reason or emotions? Or did the writer just want to entertain, to affect your emotions? Another thing you want to, how are you going to evaluate this text? Evaluate means by which the author has accomplished his purpose or her purpose. If purpose is to inform, has the material been presented clearly, accurately, with order and coherence? If purpose is to persuade, then the reader has to look for evidence, logical reasoning, and contrary evidence. But if the purpose was to entertain, determine how your emotions are affected when you read it. Does it make you laugh, cry, get angry? Why did it affect you? Is it because of your biases? And consider the following questions. How is the material organized? Who is in the intended audience? What are writers' assumptions about audience? What kind of language and imagery does the author use? And then writing the critique. Now here is just a sample outline for a critical essay. So after the text under analysis has been carefully studied, the critique can be drafted using a very simple outline. First, number one, background information to help your readers understand the nature of the work. The kinds of information you want to give your readers is the title, the author, publication information, the statement of topic, thesis, purpose, and focus on the thesis statement indicating the writer's main reaction to the work. Writing the critique, number two, summary, write a summary or describe the work, and then interpret and evaluate. How do you do this? Well, first you discuss the organization of the piece, you discuss its style, its effectiveness, and you continue a discussion of the topic's treatment, discussion of appeal, maybe to a particular audience. Now, when we go on to comparative analysis, it's a type of analysis that is a focal text through the lens of a text that is comparable. So what you're going to be doing, in essence, is simply you're going to be comparing and contrasting two things, two texts, two theories, two historical figures, two scientific processes, or so on. So you want to construct a paper in which you state all the features that A and B have in common, and then state all the ways in which A and B are different. Now, predictably, the thesis of such a paper that I just described is usually an assertion that A and B are very similar, yet they're not so similar at all. To write a good compare and contrast paper, you have to take your raw data, similarities and differences that you've observed in each, and make them cohere into a meaningful argument. Now, here are the 5 elements required. What is the frame of reference? Well, this may consist of an idea, a theme, a question, a problem, or theory. A group of similar things from which you extract two for special attention, biographical or historical information. And then the grounds for comparison. The issue has 2 conflicting sides. Does it? Thesis. The grounds for comparison anticipates the comparative nature of your thesis. And this thesis depends on how the 2 things you've actually chosen to compare actually relate to one another. Do they extend, corroborate, complicate, contradict, correct, or debate one another? And then the organizational scheme, your introduction should include your frame of reference, grounds for comparison, and ideas. There are 2 basic ways to organize the body of your paper. In text by text, you discuss all of A and then all of B. In point by point, you alternate points about A with comparable points about B, and this is what I would suggest. It would make a far more interesting paper. Or linking of A and B. You know, all argumentative papers require you to link each point in the argument back to the thesis. So remember that. So I'll see you soon. And you did a fabulous job on your first discussions and first response papers. Thanks, gang.